You referred to problems that you had in dealing with success. I guess you're referring to Hill Street Blues, that all of a sudden you had an amazing amount of recognition being in a #1 series. What was the problem that you went through?
This odd position where people think of you as an authority and think of you as someone who has enormous gifts and great leadership ability, and we all want to believe it. That's the problem. I want them to think that I'm this kind of person, when in fact what you are is a relatively talented journeyman performer. It begins to bother you that people think of you in terms that you know are not true. I just don't perceive myself in the sense of a star. Streisand is a star.
Are you surprised that it's still lasting this long? I mean, people are seeing these episodes over and over again now.
Hill Street is eminently rewatchable. When you have the combination of story and character, that character in conflict is worth seeing again.
Now, you had been acting for at least 20 years before Hill Street became a really big hit. When that went #1 and the show was getting all that critical acclaim, did you sit back and you go, wow, I finally made it now, after 20 years, here we go, I'm finally in a hit series?
It was overwhelming in a strange way, because I didn't expect to get the response that we got. There's no way that you can understand it. I mean, it's in 57 countries. I was in Beijing, people stopped me. So in that respect, I wasn't prepared for it. I've been fortunately in the business long enough and had some success before Hill Street that I knew that it's pretty gossamer. It is like cotton candy. You bite into it and it's gone. Hill Street lasted a little bit longer in the sense that we did 7 years on that show. So once again, I was intellectually prepared for the fact that it was not going to be the same when the show was over, but I wasn't emotionally prepared. It was very painful when that show was over, and I didn't have a steady job, and people didn't know who I was once again.
It really went that way? I mean, the show was over and that was it?
Yeah,
you were again a journeyman actor looking for a job?
Amazing.
You've had different sorts of fans throughout the years. Now you're Doogie Howser's
It's
dad.
wonderful.
I mean, you must, what do you have, 10, 11, 12-year-olds?
Oh, they're wonderful. I have to tell you a story. I was just in Hawaii before I came out here to go to this wedding. And I was in the elevator. I'd gone back up to get the camera. We wanted to take a picture of something. And as the elevator stopped in the middle, and someone got on, and there was a young boy. I was 9 years old, maybe 11 years old, and he looked in the elevator and he said, "Oh, look, it's Mr. Howser." And just as the elevator doors were closing, you could hear the mother off stage saying, "Dr. Howser."
Do you get more of the Doogie or the Hunter these days?
Well, it depends if Hill Street is running some cities it's running twice the same night, 5 nights a week. So you can always tell. The cabbie looks at you in the mirror and goes, "Hey, Howard, what are you doing here?"
Is there one part in particular that you remember that you took that because you needed the money that you're really embarrassed that you had to do?
I'll tell you a story. I'm a nice guy. I don't want to denigrate anybody. But there was a television show. There were a lot of television shows. But there was a television show that I did that I had the guest role on. We had gone to our children's school picnic, and we came home, and it was a Sunday afternoon, and someone called my son and said, "Hey, your dad's on TV." So he went in and turned it on, and he watched it to the end, and he turned around and he said, "Dad?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "What'd you do that crap for?" I thought, oh, golly.